Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So my 2021 year-end top 10s continue as we're going to look at my number 3 welterweight in the world right now, the reigning WBA champion, super champion, Yordenis Ugas. Ugas entered the year coming off of a 2020 where he had captured the regular title by defeating Abel Ramos with a decision, and really was looking to, get a big fight, land a big fight in 2021. And he waited around a while. He got upgraded to super champion as Manny Pacquiao, was named champion in recess. And then later in the year, as Manny signed on to fight Errol Spence Jr., he tried to get reinstated as champion. The WBA said no. And it looked like Manny was going to fight Errol Spence. And then Spence had to pull out with a retinal tear, and Manny chose Yordenis Ugas on 2 weeks' notice, and Ugas got the fight of his life on 2 weeks' notice against one of the greatest fighters of all time in Manny Pacquiao, and he used a long jab and great boxing to absolutely dominate the Pac-Man. Just picked them apart, landed good hard shots, and won a convincing 12-round unanimous decision as he retained his WBA title and left no doubt that he's sitting right at the top of the division. This was a huge win. It was a career win for Ugas. Absolutely deserving. That's all he ended up doing in 2021, but that was more than enough. It was a big-time win for him. And now he pushes forward with bigger plans, to try to take over the division. His stats now. He previously was number 6, so he moves up 3 spots to number 3. He is 35 years old, though, so he's up there in age. So he needs to definitely, get back or, try to stay busy. This needs to be a year where he goes for all the marbles, and he is doing that for sure, as I'll announce in a minute after I talk about his record. His record overall is 27-4 with 12 knockouts. Now, so he's not a big-time power puncher, but this guy he hits hard enough to keep you honest, and his boxing ability is very on point. He has kind of an awkward boxing style, throws guys off. And in April, it looks like he's going to get maybe the second biggest fight of his career, but biggest fight in terms of collecting straps, as it looks like it's locked in, even though they haven't signed on for a date. But the WBA has already approved that Yordenis Ugas is going to be allowed to attempt to unify titles against Errol Spence Jr., who holds the WBC and the IBF title. So that is a big-time fight right there for Yordenis Ugas, and I really can't wait to see it. It should take place. Errol Spence went out and said it's going to take place in April after Ugas had announced it would be March or April. Errol Spence made it clear it'd be in April. So that's only about an 8-month layoff for Ugas, but Spence, it's going to be, by the time that fight takes place, we're talking a 16-month layoff, almost a year and a half in between fights. So Yordenis Ugas will come in, maybe a little fresher, and that's going to be an interesting fight. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it could end up being a very close fight and a very good fight, especially since Ugas, in the same year as Spence, fought Sean Porter. They both fought Sean Porter in 2019. Very similar opponent. And Ugas seemingly outworked Porter, but it was a close dogfight right there. Ugly kind of fight to score, but Ugas lost by a very close split decision. And then Errol Spence took on Sean Porter later that year and struggled against him. He scored a knockdown late in the fight, but he walked away with a close split decision win over Porter. So these two guys against a common opponent have fought very close against Sean Porter, and in all honesty, they're, one's a southpaw, one's orthodox, but the thing is they're both boxers. Yes, styles make fights. We're gonna see who the better boxer is, but considering the opponent that they fought wasn't a premier boxer, he's more of a boxer, puncher, brawler, and Sean Porter, they both fought Sean Porter very tight, very close, and I think that means, hey, it could be a close fight between Spence and Ugas. To be honest, if the fight goes forward, I'm picking Spence to win, but definitely not by a blowout, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ugas got the victory. So it's going to be interesting. If Ugas loses to Spence, he's gonna have to go back to the drawing board. But he has the resume with beating Pacquiao and fighting Spence to be a gatekeeper type scenario, especially if he gets his ass whipped. But if he can score another big time win defeating Errol Spence Jr., he's really gonna put his name on everybody's lips. And after that, you know, he might have to make a mandatory defense, but he could be looking undisputed in the face against Terrence Crawford at some point, you know, and that would be huge. So we got to wait to see what happens. But Yordenis Ugas, the opportunity is here after the career best win over the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao. And we're going to see if he could take advantage of his next opportunity against Errol Spence. But that's it. That's what I got for my number 3 welterweight in the world right now at 147 pounds, the reigning WBA super champion. These are my 2021 year-end top 10s. I hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth. Oh, shit.